In a recent poll on my YouTube community tab, I asked what you guys wanted to see for this challenge. And overwhelmingly, you all said winter DIYs. So I thought it would be fun to use some of these great clearance finds that we have in our stash to make some beautiful DIY winter decor. Let's get started. For our first winter decor DIY, we're going to make a snowflake riser using this wood snowflake that I got from Dollar General on clearance for $1.50. So the first thing I did was remove all their embellishments. It was stapled down, so I just took my small flathead screwdriver and pretty easily removed all those staples. Y'all, I hope you had a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. I'm so excited for the new year. It's a clean slate and lots of plans for this channel. If you are new here, welcome. So excited you're joining us. And if you are one of my returning subscribers or viewers, I love you guys so, so much. Now, where I removed the string, it left a little bit of a, I don't know, boogered up spot. But some sandpaper took care of that, and by the time I get done decorating this piece, you won't even notice it. Now on the back, I removed the label and it left a little glue residue. So a good tip to have is if you don't have any Goo Gone, is take a piece of sandpaper and go over it, and that will usually take care of any glue residue, just like I did there. Now, I wanted a good base for the center of the snowflake. So I'm using my plaster chalk paint and trying to be very careful and only stay in the middle part. The paper that they had down, I didn't even try to remove it. I guess I was being lazy. So I just decided to paint it instead. And I was going to leave it white and maybe put some glitter on it that way. And I thought, no, uh, something just popped in my head. And you'll see here in a second what I do. So once the plaster was dry, I went in with Southern Bluebell. And this color is so pretty. It reminds me of winter. And it also reminds me of the way our pond looks when it's totally frozen over solid. So I went with this color once again, trying to be very careful to stay within the center. I actually did pretty good considering how sloppy I can be sometimes. And I did give it 2 coats of the Southern Bluebell. Next, I'm taking my Mod Podge and putting down just a thin layer into the center. Now, here is another little trick. I find it's much easier to use Mod Podge if you put it in one of these condiment squeeze bottles. You get 2 in a package from the Dollar Tree. Just pour your Mod Podge in there, and to me, it makes it a whole lot easier to get out, and you're not getting out too much when you stick your brush down into the bottle. So as you saw there, I sprinkled the center with some white glitter, and that just makes it look all kind of frosty. It reminds me of that frosty pond, our pond that I was telling you about. I then decided to take the Mod Podge and just go over the outermost point of the snowflake. And I did that to each one of them, just dabbing some Mod Podge on using that sponge brush. And I love using sponge brushes for Mod Podge because, you know, if when they get too gunked up, you can just throw them away. I take the white glitter once again and give each of those main points on the snowflake a good coating of the white glitter. Now, if you're new here and you like what you see, I invite you to hit that subscribe button and stick around a while. We have a lot of fun here on this channel, and I would love to have you join the crafty crew. We have a great community, and I know you're just going to love it. Other than the glitter, I left this piece pretty rustic on the front. I didn't do anything else to it except that center portion. But for the feet, I am using these little wooden snowmen that we got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm using my Gorilla Super Glue Gel. But if you want to use hot glue, go right ahead, use what you have. I'm trying to use up what I have. And many times I've been back to that pond and, seen a deer standing by the edge of the water. We've got a couple of, old trees growing up through there. I love it. You guys let me know what you think in the comments down below. Next up is our simple winter wreath. I'm using a foam wreath form from the Dollar Tree, some chunky yarn I had on hand. I got this little owl 50% off at the Dollar Tree after Christmas, and a bamboo skewer. Now here I am just beginning to wrap the yarn around the wreath form, and that's all you're going to do is just wrap it around. I secured the beginning with some hot glue. And guys, please don't do what I did here. I don't know what I was thinking. Cut the yarn off into smaller, manageable pieces. Okay? Do as I say, not as I do. Honestly, I sometimes I don't know what I think. I don't know. This wreath turns out so simple and so pretty. I kept it very neutral. Now, one thing to remember if you are using yarn is to keep everything squished together really tight. That way there's no gaps. You could also use the white dusters from the Dollar Tree. I'm using what I had on hand. Plus, I think this chunky yarn just adds so much texture and dimension to this plain Dollar Tree wreath. Next, I cut the skewer down to size just long enough to fit down into the wreath and to be able to support my owl. Now, I did have to take a pair of scissors and make a hole into that wreath that way. That foam is very hard. And then all I did was secure the owl down on top of the skewer stick so it looks like he's just kind of hanging out right there in the wreath. So pretty. I love this. Now with the owls, be careful because when I was going through what Dollar Tree had left over, this was the only one that, didn't have messed up eyes or, anything like that because everything's been pretty much picked over. So to secure him down just a little more, I added a dot of hot glue underneath the owl to make sure he didn't go anywhere. I wanted to keep this wreath simple, like I said before, so I didn't add a lot of greenery. Actually, I just ended up adding this little piece that I have in my right hand there. It's a little sparkly piece of greenery with a little red berry on it, and it matches, kind of matches the little berry that is on the little owl to start with. I just think it added just enough. Now, you guys can add whatever you would like. If you want more greenery, if you want the bow in a different place, this is strictly for inspiration. So please keep that in mind. But I was going for a really simple, neutral look here. So I took this neutral ribbon that I've had forever. I made a hanger and a bow. And all I did for my bow was fold it over onto itself to make a double loop bow. And I then attached the tails to the bow using an zip tie. Yeah, I zip tied the tails to the bow. I'm getting better at my bows, I think. What do y'all think? That's something I'm working on for 2024 is definitely getting better at making bows. I then just dovetailed the ends, and this simple but very, very pretty wreath is finished. You guys, please let me know what you think about this in the comments. And what would you have added to this wreath? More greenery, less of a bow? You guys be sure to let me know down below. Today is for the Love of Crafting open playlist, which means we as crafters can make anything we wanted. This is hosted by Amanda from Six Kids and a Glue Gun and Brenda from Rustic and Lace DIY. I'll have their channels linked below, as well as a great playlist with some very talented creators. So when you're finished with this video, go check them out. For my third winter decor DIY, I'm using one of these signs that I got on clearance for 30 cents, plus some Southern Bluebell acrylic paint and my plaster chalk paint. Guys, I do want to remind you that I'm still looking for your pictures of what you've created. I want to see them. I'd love to see what you've made. My contact information is always located in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. I do want to share some of your recent comments that I've gotten. These comments are what keep me going. I love chatting with you guys down in the comment box. They mean the world to me. So keep those comments coming. I love reading them and chatting with you guys. It really means the world to me. So after I gave the frame 2 coats of the Southern Bluebell, I cut one of my scrubby sponges into 3 different pieces, and I'm using the steel chalk paint to do my distressing technique. I then go in with some plaster over that, and it gives it a really nice chippy look. Now, if you didn't see the distressing technique that I used in my previous video, using those scrubbies, I will link that video below as well. So for this sign, this is going to be a little snowman, and all I'm painting is his head, and he's looking up at the sky. So you saw there, I wanted to give him some definition because I painted the inside of the frame with plaster and the snowman white. So I went in with the Southern Bluebell, trying to give him like an icy look to kind of give some definition to him because I thought he blended in too much. So I just changed my mind, painted over it, and he just looked too, you couldn't tell what it was supposed to be. So this morning I got up, went outside, went with my gut the first time, which I should have done. I should have stuck with it, guys. Gave him that definition, and I think he turned out so cute. You guys let me know what you think. Here's a hint at an upcoming video. Guess what it is? Tell me down in the comments. What do you think it's going to be about? I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. And until next time, y'all go get your craft on. Here's a video that I know you'll love. It's more winter decor DIYs. Bye.